Hello, my name is Joey Thatcher. I am in a 7th grade uh, social studies class at Crawfordsville Middle School. Something I do to relieve stress or practice self-care is I play guitar. I play at live gigs around here, which doesn't really reduce stress, but playing for myself definitely reduces stress. So we talked a lot about the three models, Renzulli, Gagny, and Sternberg's model for giftedness and what goes into it, and what defines a gifted and talented student. I'm going to look at the Marlin report. So it says select one of the recommendations below and explain. I'm going to choose this one. Existing services to the gifted and talented do not reach large enough significant subpopulations like minorities and disadvantaged. I think it's a problem because, especially in larger schools with a larger population, like I'm from Indianapolis, and there's a lot of schools that have thousands of kids that go there. And I mean, I don't know the percentage of kids that go there that have that are gifted and talented, but it'd be harder to reach those kids in that area. And those are usually, minority public schools in the urban downtown Indy, or the east side of Indy, where it's there is a lot of underprivileged and disadvantaged people over there. So it would be harder to get teachers out there because of what goes on in those schools. But and just the kids, there's a lot of kids there, and it's hard to reach every single one of them. So I think that's probably why. So identification of the gifted is hampered, not only cost of appropriate testing, and these methods build apathy and hostility among teachers, administrators, guidance counselors, psychologists. So kind of tying these together, what I would do as a teacher, don't have no hostility towards the kids. If you have to do a little bit more to support a kid, and that's your job as a teacher. I feel like if you have hostility towards that, then you should be a teacher. You should be trying your best to give every kid what they need to succeed. I think that's probably the most important thing. As a teacher, I was in a classroom today for my tip placement, and there was a kid who was exceptionally gifted, and he showed those signs that you saw in the three models, humor and all that, and he would go up to them when they're doing their notes and ask them more thoughtful, in-depth questions to spark some more inquiry in his head. So in chapter 5, we learn about social and emotional development of students with gifts, creativity, and talent. We learn about unique characteristics. Do you think there's a place in schools for social emotional learning? This question I thought about, and yes and no. I feel like that's something that that's something that you can teach. Well, it's not something you can teach. It's something you can put kids in positions. They have to work on their social skills, like putting them in groups and pairings. But that's something that a kid's gonna have to learn through their, through their own. It's their own practice. It's whether they want to get in there and put their best forward to be. And I know it's harder for. I was a social butterfly growing up, so I have a harder time understanding why. But I know that some kids aren't, and I think putting kids in pairings like that, where they have to talk and they have to communicate, and encourage for clubs that a kid might be. Maybe a kid hasn't seen a club that interests him, or anything that entertained them. So. And schools definitely add that. How might you consider students' gifts and talents in mind when designing these programs? Like a robotics club, I always think that something like that really can stimulate a kid's mind, and if they're looking for more of a challenge and they're more tech side, something like that, and that's a program that you could fundraise for. I know my school, we fundraise for our robotics program, huge, because there's a lot of kids that want to be involved. They excelled in it, and that's something they enjoyed and that challenged them. And that's something as teachers and like administration we can do to find what kids want to do and what they're interested in, what will challenge them. How can educators and practitioners support a student in developing self-beliefs or struggling with motivation? The best thing that I remember growing up, with a coach or a teacher, is when they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, you did a really good job," and they looked me in the eye and say, you did a great job here," or like a mark on the assignment that shows them that you're proud of them. That's so little and so small, but in a kid's mind, that means the absolute world. So helping with motivation, helping with belief in self, like, you can do this. Like, I know you are capable of achieving better than this, and I know that, you know, it's possible, and you just gotta keep working, because you can make it. Yeah, you'll be just fine. Yeah.